If you know open chords but get lost higher up on the neck, this exercise will help you begin revealing some more connections on the fretboard. Stay tuned, I'm going to help you walk through all of this. Hey everyone, what's going on? Today we're working on some fretboard awareness. We're going to be playing 3 different chords. Now there's a little bit of a sequence here, and once you get the sequence, it's going to be the same for each of the 3 chords. Our first chord is going to be A minor. The next chord is going to be D minor. And the final chord is going to be E major. Now let's go back to A minor. A minor is going to be spelled A-C-E, or I say ACE to help me remember it. Learning how to spell chords is going to be crucial to help you expand on your music language. So that is why we're going to spell it out on a single string. We have an open A string. Now we only need the other 2 notes that spell ace, right? So here's a C. That's at 3 on the A string. And E is going to be at 7 on the A string. Our last little bit of this sequence is playing an A minor chord higher up. So we're relocating it and we're putting it to a higher voice. So we're actually going to play this an octave higher. Right here. If you're familiar with D minor, it's right here. All I did is just slide it up and we're playing this now at the 8th fret. Right. Now to finish up the sequence, we're going to spell the chord backwards and go down. 7, 3, and 0. Let's hear the whole thing all together. Now we're moving on to the D minor chord, and D minor is spelled D-F-A, or I say diffa to help me remember it. It's a little stupid, but it works. Here's D minor. Same pattern. Now, the great thing about this, we're just moving to the next highest open string, which is D. So we already have our D note. And guess what? It's the same exact frets. 3 and 7. Let's hear that. All right, now let's learn the higher version of D minor here, right, like this. This one is part of, if you've ever barred an A minor chord, it's actually the highest 3 notes of that shape. So we're going to be using that, and then we're going to spell the chord on the way down and backwards on the open string again. Let's hear it all together. Nice. All right, let's move on to our final chord, the E major chord. E major is spelled E, G sharp, B. I also can say Egbert, which is a really stupid made-up word to help me remember E. Now, let's do this one. We're going to spell the E major chord on the low open E string. So we have E, then we have a G sharp here at 4. So the other 2 were at 3. This one's a half step up at 4 because we have that G sharp. And then that one's actually at 7. So there's only one little difference between all 3 of them. Okay. And then our higher shape version of E major is going to be at 7. Just like that. This is the major version of the A bar chord. Like this. It's just the highest 3 notes of that shape, or the open one. It's the same thing right here. Just like that. All right, let's hear it all together. All right, perfect. Now we're going to finish this with a really cool sounding A minor chord. This is called A minor add 9. So it's just an A minor chord and we're adding a 9. What could be that? What is a 9? The 9 represents the distance from the name of the chord. So this is A. So if we go up 8, we get to another A. If we go up 9, we get to a B. Right? So we're adding a B to this. You can think of it as a 2, but it's not a 2. Because if it were a 2, we'd call it a sus2. A sus2 requires you to remove the third of the chord, but in this case, the third is still here. So that means we have to call it a 9. We're adding a 9. I love that chord. It sounds awesome. It sounds mysterious. It's a very moody chord. And that's what we're going to be finishing on. Now, let's go play the whole thing around again. I want you to play along with me, all right? Here we go. There you have it. Have fun and keep building your fretboard awareness. Later.